It's game time, we ain't playing with you. It's game time, it's game time, we ain't playing with you. That's how we ball for y'all.
What up, what up, what up, what up? You're rocking with Duke Vibe. Your things joy for episode 104. 104. Uh, yeah, 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 man. It's up in the heat wave out there. Hope everybody's trying to stay cool, man. Yeah, this heat is getting to everybody, man. It's 100 degrees, man. 100 degrees. Hopefully it's almost over. I think it's going to start cooling down a little bit, reasonable temperature. But without further ado, let's get into some new topics, man. New topics. I seen where it said where Donald Trump, he finally released all his taxes, man. He released all his income, and then they seen some interesting things, man. You talk about a hustler. Golly, he is racking up to be the president. $2.2 billion he made in revenue in 2025. Sheesh. He ran it up, boy. He ran it up, man. It's like, damn, boy. Richer is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. That's how it looks like. But I mean, you gotta hats off to him when it comes to being a businessman, because to rack up that much money, wow, wow, that's a way to use it. That's a way to use to be a president. But it's like, damn, is it corrupt? That's the question. That's the question people are asking. Like, is it corrupt? Because he has a lot of inside, looks like little inside trades doing for his family, and also all these things that he kept on mentioning every time he was a speech about the crypto and these different coins, these Trump coins, and it's like they're going deeper into it and investigating to see people who help them invest it, are they making money? And then actually some of them is not making money, but it's ironically he's making all the money, but doesn't look too good when it looks like, he got a lot of inside information to make all these money from to the 1 point something in just crypto, and just come on, man. That's not regular. That's not regular. So, hey, he feel like maybe, this might be the last. This might be the last time. Let me rack up. Let me rack and get all this money. But people had some interesting to say about it when he broke it down and much where's his money going, and all the income he's generating. So take a look at that.
Has released his financial disclosures for 2025. We've learned that the president reported more than $1 billion in income related to his family's crypto ventures and meme coins last year.
But the Trump administration has repeatedly tried to loosen restrictions on cryptocurrency. But as you just pointed out, the White House releasing that statement saying that this is not a conflict of interest in their view, and that any executive action or any moves taken by the president are in the best interest of the American people. That's according to a White House spokesperson. Now, with regards to these financial disclosure forms, you said it, Tom, we're still going through them, but here are some of the things that stick out. At least $1.2 billion, as you mentioned, in 2025 from crypto or meme coins. And that includes, Tom, more than $588 million from sales of World Liberty Financial. Now, that is a crypto company, a crypto firm whose co-founders include the president and his sons. Now, we also reached out and heard from the Trump organization regarding all this. A spokesperson for that organization telling NBC News that the breadth and depth of this filing further underscores our commitment to transparency, adding that it represents one of the most comprehensive financial disclosure forms ever.
Gabe, I don't want to blindside you, but are you aware of any president in history who's ever reported hundreds of millions or $1 billion in income while they're in office?
I don't think so.
No.
So he is running it up. I don't see him even, kind of just explaining it, 'cause he finally disclosed all his information. He's like, damn, we didn't know you was making that much money, you know? And then he tried to say, well, hey, I didn't take a salary, being the president. Well, obviously, you don't want to take a salary because, the loophole about that too is you don't want to be on salary because then you got to actually pay some taxes. And you know how that billionaire thing go. You make enough money, you don't have to pay taxes because they have different businesses and that you kind of just offset and just kind of tax right off. So billionaires never pay taxes. They never pay taxes, especially all the properties they have all the houses they own. They just find a way loopholes. There's so many loopholes when you have so much money when you boost it in the economy that you don't need to do this. You don't need to pay taxes. So he definitely definitely is making a lot of money. He's definitely making a lot of money, and I see that's why he's in that mind frame. He don't care about certain things. Like, he don't care about no gas prices. He's making 2.2 billion. He don't care about no. He's like, hey, you guys, yeah, it's gonna go up. You probably got to pay like maybe an extra $50, $100 at the pump. Yeah, but that's fine for him. In his mindset. So he don't care about that. And on top of it, ooh, he figured out another loophole. I mean, he just says that the presidential plane is the 747 plane's been not remodeled over 40 years, and he wanted to get a new one. He wanted to get a new plane. So he actually I think he was gonna like borrow, I think he was gonna borrow, he's in a plane that he actually he wanted to borrow, but and gifted him a plane that's worth $40 million. Um, Now the kind of people are like, wait a minute, is that like a bribery? What do we got to do for this plane? Is this gonna be some what was the negotiation from there? Like they just don't give you $400 million plane. So what is going on with that situation? That's what they said.
Legal concerns, President Trump unveiled the new Air Force One. It's a luxury jumbo jet donated by a foreign country that took hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer money to retrofit, and likely the largest gift ever from a foreign government. And so, of course, that prompted questions about whether Qatar might be trying to influence an American president. It's a question that I asked the president when the Trump administration first accepted this plane.
Qatar asked for anything in exchange for that $400 million luxury jumbo jet.
What happens with the plane is that, we're very disappointed that it's taking Boeing so long to build a new Air Force One. We have an Air Force One that's 40 years old. And if we can get a 747 as a contribution to our Defense Department to use during a couple of years while they're building the other ones, I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one too. And it helps us out.
So they don't mind taking that plane, but then they were gonna ask him like, President, are you gonna keep that president? Are you gonna keep the plane after your presidency ends? Oh, well, he said no. He said no. He's gonna give it. I don't know if he said he's gonna give it to just regular to the U.S. Government. But people thinking like, nah, he probably gonna take that with him. He's like, that's a gift to me, not a gift to y'all. He's like, y'all never organized or negotiate somehow to get a $400 million plane as a gift. So that's another thing, man. He's played too much. He plays around too much. He always got some different ways that he's introducing new things into the White House and the presidency. So, I mean, as long as that don't come back, I mean, he had to say something. He had to negotiate something for a $400 million plane. I don't know, who just gives $400 million in an aircraft. Here you go. No, we know, definitely know.
Pair of Russian thrill seekers.
But everybody want to just be aware that they want to see why, what was the reason why, what was the reason why. But that's this guy Donald Trump is crazy, man. Got $635 million in royalty from celebrity coins, $236 from crypto booking sales, then 65 million from the Trump family crypto ventures for World Liberty Finance, 290 million from cryptocurrency. Wow, like that's a lot, yo. That's man, that's racking it up. He's racking it up. You making sure, hey, when I leave, I'm taking something with him. Taking something with him. Taking something with him. But Yeah, that's what Donald Trump always up to. That's why he kind of feels the way he feels. He's making a lot of money over there. Might be the most ever made money in history being the president. Hey, some other interesting, crazy news. We had an interesting Russian couple decide to climb the Empire State Building, and then they had a nice message up there about love. That's what we wanted to.
Russian thrill seekers temporarily paralyzed part of Midtown Manhattan Wednesday after they scaled the Empire State Building's antenna without harnesses, nearly 1,500 feet in the air in 90-degree heat. A nearby NYPD chopper pilot described what he saw.
What's all the hoopla going on over there?
Two geniuses climbed to the top of the Empire State Building at the top of the spire.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a little hot for that, isn't it?
The couple, 33-year-old Angelina Nicolau and 32-year-old Ivan Kuznetsov, unfurled a banner which read, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace."
And he just proposed to her.
They posted video and images to social media during the roughly half hour they were on the antenna.
We can't be up here.
Body camera video released by the NYPD shows the moment officers confronted the
Bring her
climbers.
over there. What language you guys speak?
They were later taken into custody. This family, visiting from Scotland, witnessed the ordeal from the observation deck, probably hoping they didn't fall.
For sure, on me. Could you imagine?
Former NYPD Chief of Department Rodney Harrison questioned what happened with building security.
There's only a certain level that you could get to without all the bells and whistles and alarms going off. What happened here? Was there something that might have cut the wires that allowed the system not to go off? Or maybe the system did go off and the security's response was very slow.
And law enforcement sources tell CBS News the couple reached the antenna, opening a hatch on the restricted 103rd floor.
So that's really
water.
probably gonna
Now they face numerous charges, including burglary, reckless endangerment, and criminal mischief.
breaking that up. Freaking a lot to get past that certain level where you wasn't first to enter. But supposedly they do this thing, like they're professional climbers now. Like they've been climbing certain buildings and things like that. But it was just crazy how that happened. Then he picked the interesting heat wave, man. He did it on 90-degree weather. That's crazy. That's insane. The way they climb in without no safety on there, it's definitely dangerous. Because anything falls, move, kill somebody. It can just, you have a penny out your pocket or something and drop it down there. It's just very dangerous, unsafety, and crazy. So and then after when they got out of court, when everybody was with the cameras on them and everything, he was like, "Oh, where's the nearest subway?" Like he didn't take a taxi home, he didn't get a car delivered. He went to the subway after just climbing that Empire State Building. That's insane. So, yeah, but hey, more power to their love. More power to their love. Yo, it was crazy. Another interesting thing people talking about is this flock technology, AI. Oh man, this with this cameras, man. A lot of states are trying to get rid of this because this is definitely looking like it's almost going against the constitutional amendment, verbatim different privacies because feeling like it's not the camera. It looks like okay, it keeps things safe, but the people behind the camera, like who's looking at these footage, who's collecting all this data, that's the problem because now we're seeing and hearing different things where they're using it wrongly. If you put this in different officers, the cops, and people who actually work there, they're using it for different other reasons instead of actually getting to the crime or whatever they're looking for. They're looking for the ex-boyfriends, looking for ex-wives, and see what they're doing and tracking them and doing other stuff that is just not even logical to be using this type of technology. It's not what they have it for. And then you can't even rely on the technology because it was falsely claiming some things where the data was wrong in certain things. But it's just absorbing so much data. It's showing your whereabouts. It's showing your license plates. It's showing if you have a warrant. It's really it's damn near doing the work for the cops nowadays who look at type of technology, but it's about who is getting this data, and it's not secure too. So people are hacking the system. If people are hacking the system and seeing all this data of everybody, where they're all the whereabouts, where they're moving. It's just collecting so much data, and we're just like, where is this data going? And how is it being used? And I think that's, still, I know technology pretty soon, like probably 5 years, it's going to be insane. But I mean, you already have cameras already all over the place. So now you're making this where AI cameras, where it's literally describing everything about the person, and it's invading the privacy. It can hear you, can listen to conversations. It's it's really it's really scary. It's scary at the next level where we're about to head when it comes to this AI. If they're using that type of camera system, AI camera system.
These Rosan cameras track you so well that police can even predict where you'll go. As Dale Hurd shows us, this data is not only collected and stored, sometimes it's abused.
There are more than 94,000 across the U.S., and the number is growing daily. In some locales, several of these ALPRs, or automatic license plate readers, can sit within just a mile of roadway. They capture your car's location, make, model, color, any dents, and even bumper stickers, and can turn them into searchable data points. They're also mounted on police squad cars.
The license plate reader went off on it and said it was a driver's license restraint. So it looks like on here, so she has a suspended driver's license.
It hits on her license plate, it'll pop up.
It's a pretty successful system. It's pretty easy to use. It can just kind of run in the background.
Police say license plate readers help them solve crimes. However, they can also be used to build a database about you, recording where you live, work, go to church, or even which political rallies you might attend. I smile because these cameras can even capture who's driving. The photos are then uploaded into a giant shared database, which can be accessed by police and other government agencies. It's estimated license plate scans now reach hundreds of billions each year. Dave Moss, chief of investigations at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, says some police now want to use the tech to solve so-called future crimes, crimes that haven't happened yet.
This is one of the most pernicious and offensive technologies in the United States. It is misrepresented to the public in such a way that people think it's doing one thing when it's actually doing another.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Yeah, that technology's got to be in the right people's hands, and these movies kind of always look at what's gonna go on with the future. Um, got with the movie I just recently watched where it's like the judge is AI, so it like it could sentence you to death. It feels like you did a crime, and they have all the data and all the evidence. Well, but it's like prove your case, just to stay alive. Because they're gonna have all these camera systems, and things could probably be people can hack into the system and change things around, and it could be a problem. It could be a problem when looking at future technology. So they have to take the time to really roll this out. And I mean, they've been using it in certain things already, but it's just like trying to put this in every city, every corner, and these cameras. It's no good. It's no good, but we can't do anything about it because eventually they're gonna have these type of technology to use against to just probably solve crimes and things like that. They're gonna try to make it easier, 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 easier. And they're gonna allow nobody snitching no more. They're gonna allow AI to snitch. They're gonna rely on AI to come out and improve your case. They're gonna see your whereabouts, see where you track here, what you're wearing. It's gonna yeah, I mean, hey, don't do crimes regardless, but it's just it's tricky when you have certain people, like they said and mentioned, like you might vote for certain people, you might go to different rallies, and you might be, a judge or whatever you are, and it could track you and say, hey, what was his whereabouts? Did he go to that rally? Did he vote for this person? Like, what's his conversation? Oh, he was there. What was the conversation? So it's just, are we ready for that type of technology? Are we ready for that type of surveillance on us? That's where it gets tricky, but And then and they said this was the bad part when they were talking about.
It's around
Federal government has access to more than 83,000 flock cameras around the country, a researchable AI-powered database. According to an investigation, it's already used the system to surveil protesters, profile by race, target immigrants, and threaten reproductive rights. That's terrifying, but some cities are fighting back. Officials claim Flock's purpose is to scan license plates to help solve crime, but they actually do much, much more. The always listening cameras turn the footage into an AI-powered searchable database beyond just vehicle data, accessible without a warrant. And guess what? Most cities and police departments with Flock cameras join a nationwide network. EFF's 2025 investigation exposed how the government has access to at least 83,000 cameras, using them to search by race, track protesters, and locate those who get abortions. It's a system ripe for abuse without the guardrails to prevent it. It's why there are already dozens of cases of cops using it to stalk exes or partners, and it's why the cameras keep getting innocent people in trouble. Not to mention the security flaws, and they aren't small. Researcher Ben Jordan found at least 70 cameras accessible through a commercial search engine. No password required. The latest to reject the cameras is the city of Woodburn, Oregon, joining at least 73 others. Hopefully more will follow.
Like you use that to stalk you people. Hey, where was this person at? That's just like crazy technology where you put it in the wrong person's hands, they have more power to use to do these things. And now it's invading your privacy, invading everything that you stand for. So we'll see. We'll see. I think they got open voting coming up for certain cities and see if they're gonna have some pushback from this because it is invading the privacy. Definitely invading the privacy. Let's see what happens. Talking about AI and all this technology. Oh man, I talked about something before about this, but now they said scientists actually building their first cell from scratch. But then the scientists are like, oh no, it's not really from scratch. We actually use it from other cells, but the things that they think that they have, they say, oh, we can control it. Oh man, it's like, woo. But they was definitely saying some 5 to 10 years. Watch what we're gonna do. They're gonna. It's crazy. I feel like you're gonna make some type of they probably made some type of mutant in somewhere lab. I mean, these things, yes, they can help solve different health issues and things like that, but it's still what I say. So it's still playing God. It's like creating something without natural causes of life being processed. You gotta go through what God made us to do, but these scientists definitely in the lab and they're creating things and now they're finally releasing this to the public. So that if they're releasing to the public now and it's already, they've already been practicing these things, they've already been seeing it, they're already kind of just been playing around with it, but maybe they think they have it under control. That's the thing. You gotta make sure they do have these under control, but it was great.
It's a one of a kind. And get this, it can feed, grow, and replicate like a natural cell. What do you think about that? The scientists who built it call it a spud cell. And so we're joined now by a lead scientist now, Kate Amidala. She's the University of Minnesota professor, co-founder of Biotech. She says this is just the beginning. I guess, Kate, my question is just the beginning for what? For viewers who've never heard of this, how would you describe this spud cell to them?
Hi, thanks for having me. This pod cell is on the kind of a macro level, just like a natural cell. It has a membrane, and then inside it has genes and it has metabolism. The biggest difference between that and any other cell that we know of is that this one can be engineered. It's fully engineerable because we know exactly what goes in it. It has all the components known and defined. And that's not something you can say about any natural cell. So if you want to make things with biology, make different chemicals, different materials, compounds, it's much easier to convince the artificial cell to do that because we know exactly how to talk to it. We know how to engineer it.
Wow, it's pretty fascinating. So you contrast that with a human cell that sometimes goes rogue, gets a mind of its own, maybe even turns cancerous. You're saying that this cell follows the commands of the creator, but I can imagine it's a round circle.
So that's another crazy invention when we come to technology, making whatever they're making. They're talking about we can add this to there, we can add that in there, but we can control it. What happened, worst case scenario, what happened control? They said, oh well, probably gonna shut it down. Shut what? What the hell? What did you just create? You know, what did you put in to put in, keep putting in? That's insane. That's insane. But this is what these scientists are getting paid all this money to do. You know, they make these things to discover it. I mean, hey, there's always going to be a good and there's always going to be the bad. You know, the first thing I always talk about, you got to know what's going to go on with the bad because that's going to be the most thing where people are going to hack and figure out and or even you can't figure out, you know, something that you didn't even think that will happen, and then all of a sudden it happened, you know. So but it's crazy. It's crazy. These scientists were definitely in the lab creating something. Creating I always talk about it was creating something. So I hope to pay attention to see what the hell they create, see what they use it for. Hopefully it comes for good, you know, hopefully it comes for medicine or cancer, all that stuff, you know. Hopefully that things you can enter you know, a fake cell or fake person and see how if you give it a certain antidote or some cure and they kind of find out, you know. It's another playing with our scientific things and things like that. But that was crazy. And another thing that's actually crazy, people were talking about LeBron, you know, because LeBron's actually saying he's not going to be back with the Lakers anymore. So he's like, oh, what's going on here? You know, so everybody's just speculating what's gonna go, where he's gonna go. Some people said, you know, he might be going back to Cleveland. You know, he might go back to Cleveland. You know,
LeBron returning to Cleveland, I'll be honest, I love it. I think it's storybook. Where it began, where it ends. You do things with Max Strus and Dennis Schroeder to free up some money. You figure out a way to get a little bit more perimeter defense in there. James Harden and Donovan Mitchell spread the floor. Yes, Harden likes the ball in his hands. Eddie Mitchell likes the ball in his hands. I know that. Mobley and Allen, elite defensive front court.
LeBron,
You're in the Eastern Conference.
they were
and
close
you can
to.
bookend your career. I think Cleveland makes a ton of sense to actually win. I know we're going to talk about the storybook stuff and the fun of playing with some of these other teams, but in terms of a path to winning a title, I actually think Cleveland is the one that makes the most sense.
Cleveland, I mean, that's a good team. You know, look where it went. You know, and they're still a hell of a team, and I think that is a good push to probably even you know to definitely be in the playoffs and he started there. You know, he has a lot of history, and I think what I think Unc was talking about. Shannon Sharp was talking about they using probably trying to use Bronny too to try to bring him to Cleveland. Probably make it as the you know still duel with the father and son. So people was talking about Cleveland. I mean, it's a great team. That would be a hell of a good team. That'd be the best team. That's a good team that they, you know, but it wasn't known. They was also talking about, you know, Green was also talking about how he want him on the Warriors. He want him on the.
It's not a doing every
You
yeah.
know, they've been told.
It's not a rumor. It's real.
It's not a rumor.
We're doing everything we can to bring LeBron to the Warriors. Me, Steph, and LeBron, we will be the greatest trio in NBA history.
And Green.
Yeah, it's
That's crazy. That's crazy. That'd be lights out. You know, to have a shooter and then just have him front. Because remember, Braun is still putting up numbers. He's still a hell of a player. Like you know, let's not act like he ain't come off a great, you know, season at his age, and then he just didn't have enough role players to help him really. So that'd be a good play too. But then they also was talking about Philly. Philly was on the menu too. Philly was
So the idea of LeBron returning.
Philadelphia.
Knicks had
No, Philadelphia.
Kidding me. The Sixers are really going to pull this off now, too. First, they steal Jaylen Brown from the Celtics like a thief in the night, and now they're going to follow that up by adding LeBron James. This is not a drill. The Sixers have now just reached out to LeBron. And before you dismiss this, remember what Shams just said yesterday. LeBron is okay taking a minimum deal if it means contending for a title. And by the way, if you like elite sports content like this, make sure you're following. Well, guess what? The Sixers with this starting five of Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, LeBron, and Embiid, they would not only contend, but as you can see on Kalshi, they would at the very least be the favorites to come out of the East. And on top of that, as it stands right now, Philly has only one weak spot in their starting five, the exact spot LeBron would slot into. And if you're LeBron, what's the one thing you gotta make sure you do if you really want to contend? Go to the East. Because after this trade, all you really got to deal with there is the Knicks. And at this point, if you're going to pick the best roster in the East, it ain't Cleveland, who wouldn't be good enough in the backcourt on defense. And if LeBron's not there, it ain't Miami. It's this would-be super team in Philly. So after trading for Brown, Philly has really put themselves in a great position to go after the king. You got
Yeah, talking about the East, East is definitely a strong team. So being Philadelphia, oh man, that'll go crazy. That'll go crazy. Oh man, that would definitely be an interesting squad. And at the heart of the Philly would definitely love that. But like he said too, the Knicks, the news said, yeah, he said Brunson wants him. It's his main man, his right hand man was saying, he wanted, Bronson wants some things changed now that we won the chip. So New York Knicks won the chip. Bronson want to open the door, pick up the phone, call Bron. You maybe can come to the Knicks. Talk Knicks.
Knicks hadn't have won, this wouldn't even, there would be no board.
He'd be going to the Knicks.
He'd be going to the Knicks.
Interesting.
But the
Super
fact
interesting.
that they won, Jalen Brunson would
won.
literally have to pick up the phone and say, "Hey man, it's no issue with me. It's no issue with me."
I don't see nothing. He sacrificed.
And I'm not saying that would I'm not saying that would make
do it,
make
but
his decision.
but at least it would put him on the
You-
table.
Yeah, because you got to respect that.
Have the
Jalen-
Knicks called?
Yeah,
Knicks checked in.
they checked in.
Sure. That'll be shit. I mean, that'd be what Knicks want. Like we don't even need. Like the fact that we did it. And he got the chip. To have LeBron to bring that energy and just have what he still can be as in he's in his he's still in a stage where he don't mind being a role player. Like you don't have to be the star anymore. So that's all we need, and that's how Knicks got where they got. There was they had one star Brunson, and then when Brunson was actually just on taking off. It was the bench. The bench pushed us through and hold everything down. So for Bron to just find a placement of where he wants to do it. So he can play whatever they was talking. He can play still shooting guard, power forward, point guard if he even wanted to. So he has different positions that he can actually fit in the organization. But hey, wouldn't mind getting Bron to the Knicks. That'll be crazy. That'd be so crazy. But I don't know if that's really gonna happen. But we have to just wait and see. We have to wait and see. Also, Miami too. Heat that on the deal too. So where's Bron gonna go? Where's he gonna choose to go? So like all this drumming up where Bron's gonna go. I don't think he's gonna retire yet because that was another option. People was like, oh well, he's just gonna retire. I don't think he's ready to retire. I think he might want to finish out where he wants to finish out. And then I think that might be it. That might be end of what he wants to do. So that's interesting. We're gonna see. We're gonna see where LeBron actually decides to go. And all right. So yeah, let's get some motivation. You know how that goes. Motivation. I need a motivation. So this one's right to the point, but it says you was born to be authentic, not perfect. Hey, I always say that, man. Nothing in this world is perfect. We're made to make mistakes. We're made to be imperfect. There's what you think in life is perfect is actually not. It's the only person perfect. Maybe it was God, but even God maybe wasn't even perfect. So the way they kind of made everything seem like everything has to be perfect is never going to be perfect, and it's never going to be the way you might want it to be too. So that's not what we're here for, and that's not what you're gonna run into a person. So they's got to be who they are. Their authentic self. And that's how you can strive for being perfection, but it's never going to be perfect. But as long as you get it done, or just kind of feel the imperfection of it, that's the beauty of it. So yeah. But so that's what I got, when I hear that. But yes, got everybody today, 104. Don't forget to like, subscribe, still check out for everything I got going. Definitely check on the Patreon too. It's something that I want to see. If you want to see some behind the scenes, some uncut things, or some unseen that I don't really put out, and you want to just check that out, don't forget to check that out too. So gonna post some more stuff there too to keep up there. And it also just helps me support me too, Hey, for the support, gotta keep this thing going somehow, some way, So you can help put it in there and join there. Trust me, I'm make it interesting. I'm gonna make it interesting just to be a part of that community. So yeah, so don't forget to check everything else I got. Let's check out the music. The music's definitely there and music's coming. So yeah, and all that good stuff, So in the meantime, between times, hey.
I love it. You guys are so great.